Shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's Michael Israel here. Got a quick message for y'all. I decided to just record this one on the phone, um, and I'm gonna be hitting on a couple things. You know, the title of this video, and it just came to me just now, is why the Hebrew community keeps missing the mark. A while back I did a video on, you know, the drama going on, and basically in that video just showing how, you know, since I've become a part of Straight Way, I've been working hard on just building community and really coming together with other brothers and sisters. But I've seen a lot of the same types of behaviors and a lot of the same type of doctrinal or directions that people go with doctrines, and I see a lot of people going, into deep levels of the word when you look out there, we're not doing the basics, and spiritual combat is basically about the basics, and basically we ain't doing the basics, and we basically a mess out there. So I was one of the things I do sometimes, when I got free time, I don't watch TV too much. I don't watch too many movies. But what I kind of do, what I've done recently, I listen to podcasts of these soldiers who've been in battle, in combat, and one in particular is a Navy SEAL guy. He had one of the guys who was on the SEAL team with him. He was interviewing him, and man, they said something profound, and a lot could be taken from what they said on that interview. And one of the things they had said was, he was saying, when you come into SEALs, when you go to become a Navy SEAL, you got to go through BUDS training. I don't know what it stands for, basic underwater demolition training or something. I don't know. Anyway, most people have heard and know that is some intense training or a qualification course. A lot of people say how tough it is, and it's a big deal when you get out there, and all you gotta do is go online, look at social media and stuff like that, and you see how tough SEAL basic training is. You could call it that, basic SEAL training or whatever. I mean, they're in water, they're sleep deprived, their bodies are hurting, blah 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 blah. And this guy said something awesome. He was like, you know what? Once you make it through SEAL training and you get to, you progress on to your SEAL team, or you're on a SEAL team and this, that, and other. He's like, nobody ever talks about BUD training because it basically means nothing. And he's like, the people like me, I was in a SEAL, I was in the Air Force. I'm like, wow. You gotta be some type of person to make it through SEAL training, this, that, and the other. That's how we talk. But people who were actually Navy SEALs and went into combat and all that, to them, SEAL training is like, oh yeah, basic SEAL training, BUDS training, whoopee-doo, because the guy gave an awesome reason why they say that. And he said the reason why they say BUDS training is nothing, is no big deal, is because when you go into, and these guys have been to actual combat, he said actual combat is like a whole nother realm. It's a whole nother level that you can't even match with budge training. It's so intense and it's so much on a whole nother level that it makes the budge training nothing. Like, these guys have seen bombs go off literally right in front of them, seen people die, you know, and the best way I heard him try to describe it is like hyper reality, like you're super engaged. You know, I couldn't talk on it because I never been in combat, but the reason why I'm saying that and I'm bringing all that out is because I can kind of use that as an example and relate it to what I see in the Hebrew community. Man, you got these people, you got people studying, 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 reading all these books, going to all these books, going into all this deep stuff about, you know, the Bible and the Word and this, that, and the other and all that. But they ain't been in the combat. And what do I mean by that? What's the combat? What do I attribute that? What would be my example of that? Is when you truly come together with your brothers and sisters. Not just talking about it, not just talking about, yeah, we trying to come together, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 this, that. Yeah, we come together. Yeah, it's talk. But I'm talking about actually selling everything you got. Actually sharing everything you got with your brothers and sisters. Actually living together. Actually coming together economically with your resources. I'm talking about having all things in common. Actually doing what the book says. Then you can understand, you can truly understand the book. It don't take all this deep studying and profound stuff. And I watch people go deep into the book and bring stuff out, and I understand it. Boom. Oh yeah, that makes sense. This, that, and the other. Why? Because I've lived it out. It'd be the equivalent of somebody super analyzing the Navy SEAL budge training thing. And, oh yeah, we do this because of that, and blah, 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 and analyzing it all. And then you talk to somebody who's been in actual combat, and like the guys were saying on this podcast I was listening to, they were like, man, all budge training does is the first step to weeding out people who, so that we can get people who might have what it takes to function in combat. It's just a first step of straining them out. You know what I'm saying? Your Bible knowledge and all this deep stuff you have, once you're really called on to sacrifice and really get after this thing, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna see what people made of. You know, I done seen spiritual people. I done seen, super biblical, knowledgeable people. This, that, and the other. I'm sure if you talk to Pastor Dow, he could tell you about people he's seen, that just couldn't cut it. Basic stuff. Basic what? Doing what you told. That's a big one. Doing what you told. Simply following instruction. Simple as that. That's a big one. Here go another big one. Being selfless. Being considerate. Like, this is all basic Bible stuff right there in the tent. This is stuff that you could literally get any translation of the Bible and see this basic message all through the book. You do that, big things are going to happen. You do these basic, simple things, huge things are going to happen. Huge things. Big things are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And just doing them basic things are really going to show you who you are. That's real talk. Another thing I see people really, really wrestle with particularly unfathered men. And that's men who haven't been raised by a father figure. That doesn't mean your father wasn't in your house. I mean you haven't been manned up by another man. By pause. That sounds kind of suspect. You haven't been raised by a true man and shown the basics, the heavy, deep inner aspects of masculinity. You know, you haven't been submitted to a masculine father figure, so you don't get it. I see this a lot. And if you haven't had that experience where you were raised up by a father figure, you wrestle with authority. And when you look at the book, it's a hierarchy book. It's hierarchical. There's no equality in the book. Okay. But the problem is, like Paul was saying about the body, there's different parts to the body. Okay. You know, I got a finger, I got eyes, I got this, that, the other. Each serves a different purpose. A lot of people are feet, and they're like, well, ain't nobody gonna be my head. I ain't having nobody over me. I ain't having no head turning, telling me what to do. And then you got a foot just wandering around, running into all types of shit, doing silliness. You can't come together. The biggest thing people wrestle with authority, whether it be women, you got a lot of women who don't want a man over them. You got a lot of men who don't want to man up and be over a woman and lead a woman, okay, and guide and direct them. The reason why people have problems with all this is because they think that being a head as opposed to being a leg, that means the head is better than the leg. They think being being the part of your body that you defecate with is less important than being a head that has all the sensory things, that's able to perceive and see things and say, hey, let's go in this direction. That's not the case. Not one is not better than the other. It just one serves a different purpose. So I have a leader. I have elders. I have pastors who are over me, who, after being patient, sitting down, calming down, I see that they're able to see stuff that I don't. You see what I'm saying? It don't mean they're better than me as a human being. It just means they're serving their purpose. A lot of people wrestle with authority because they haven't become truly masculine men yet. They're still boys in a lot of their thinking. And this is why there's a big buck against authority. This is why you don't see any so-called unity in the Hebrew community. You don't see any because, oh, ain't nobody gonna be over me. I'm my own man. I'm guiding myself. That's basic book. You see hierarchy all through the book. I watch a man do his thing, ran his thing, has operated his thing biblically and done it better than me. I'm submitting to that. But that goes back to another biblical thing that's basic. I'm talking about surface level. I mean, you can bring forth this nation with surface level biblical understanding. You gotta go 20 levels deep into the word. Pride. That brings us to pride. The pride blocks people from seeing where they jacked up at. And that's why they can't get on the real battlefield of coming together with their brothers and sisters and really getting after this thing and really bringing forth true stuff. Bringing forth businesses that you got the saints working in, communities, building on the community, and actually functioning as a nation, as the book highlights all through. Very surface level biblical stuff. You're not supposed to be an individualite. All this unity, we coming together, we're gonna build this nation like everybody be talking about, but they can't do it because they ain't getting the basics right. Why ain't nobody pushing and doing the basics? Or let me say it a different way. Why aren't more people pushing and doing the basics? Because basically they comfortable where they're at. You know what I'm saying? They love Babylon. So